I grew up pretty much alone. I left my home when I was 11, so I was a ward of the state and in and out of group homes, and was a heroin addict most of my life. I got up, I went and got heroin, and as much as I could, and did it as much as I could, and that was about it. I had no life. I knew I was coming close to the end, and it was, at that point, it was either one thing or the other. You know, I had to choose, and I chose to live.
After completing a drug and alcohol rehab program, Patricia was referred to Bonaventure House.
The original mission of the Alexian Brothers AIDS Ministry was to provide end-of-life services to, at that point, individuals who were dying from AIDS. There were no other resources in Chicago to provide this type of care, and so the Alexian Brothers took individuals who had no other resources into their own homes and provided hospice and end-of-life care with dignity and respect for those who were living with AIDS. We changed the name from Alexian Brothers AIDS Ministry to Alexian Brothers Housing and Health Alliance because it better represents what we're doing this many years later. In the early years of the epidemic, people were dying from AIDS. Now people are living with HIV. So we provide supportive services and housing that provides a foundation for strong health outcomes for those who come to us. The Housing and Health Alliance primarily serves individuals who are homeless, low income, and have a chronic disease, including HIV/AIDS. In addition, 98% of those who we serve are either in recovery from substance use or are actively using substances and are working towards recovery.
When I was here, I learned who I was and what made me tick. You know, after 30 years of drug use, I didn't know who I was or if I was good at anything or what that was. My HIV, my health is, it's there, but it's not, it's okay that it's there, you know, and here I was able to realize that.
Stable housing is such a key intervention for helping individuals change their lives because without housing, without a home, you have very little to work from. We see people who come to us who have been living on the streets and need to have a home and a place to put their head before thinking about anything else.
I think for the first time in my life, fear was not a part of my vocabulary. I was safe. I knew I had a safe place, private place to come home to come back to. I wasn't scared anymore. I had people around me that I knew cared about me, that didn't want anything from me but to succeed.
The services we provide clearly reflect the mission of the Alexian Brothers by espousing the values in all that we do. We approach the holism of each person by providing comprehensive case management, occupational therapy, and spiritual care.
All around the services here, like they cover everything. So there's the case management, there's OT, which is occupational therapy, and that kind of has to do with jobs and school, and they have groups that help show like what your learning curves are or your obstacles or, you know, stuff like that.
Each resident who comes to the Housing and Health Alliance is assigned a case manager who assesses their mental health, health care, and spiritual care needs.
The case management here at Bonaventure was vital in my recovery and my growth. I had a case manager who helped me get on track. He gave me the self-confidence to go to school. They helped me discover what was good for me.
What we have seen is that over the course of the 2 years that we track individuals, 95% of those individuals are maintaining their access to healthcare and medications, 80% are maintaining their sobriety, and 100% of individuals are maintaining their housing. So what we're seeing is that there's less of a relapse to poverty and homelessness after graduating from our programs. And I attribute this to the hard work of all the clinical staff here who address the comprehensive nature of physical, mental, and spiritual health and growth before individuals graduate.
I came to Bonaventure in January of 2012. and I was here for 17 months. I actually graduated early because there was actually nothing more I could do here. They had given me all the tools, all the resources necessary for me to keep going. Because I used drugs for so long, I never had this kind of life. So everything that I'm doing is brand new. And brand new is exciting. And, you know, it's like being a baby, you know, where you're touching things for the first time, and it's amazing.
We have people who graduate with their GED, with an associate's degree, or with a master's degree. We even have one individual who's going to law school right now.
My hopes and dreams for the future are huge. I think I've always dreamt big. And as far academically, my master's degree in community psychology, I want to be able to take my experience and turn it into something good.
And so we see wonderful, wonderful transformations that occur because finally someone feels that they are loved and they are worth it.
Without Bonaventure, I would not be where I am today. I think for the first time in my life, I felt true gratitude.
I have never had a job that made me feel the way I feel every day when I leave this office. I have a sense of fulfillment. I have a sense of a bigger mission through working with the Alexian brothers and understanding that what we contribute to the care of the poor is so important. I also love working at the Housing and Health Alliance itself because of the fact that the people who we serve are immensely grateful for what we do. They do not take advantage. There is no sense of entitlement. It is truly, truly grateful words that we hear in return, and that makes it worth it.